teachers! I hope you are doing well. I was so honored when Ben Capello asked me to be interviewed on his podcast called All Keyed Up, and I'll put the link to that interview in the video description here. I would totally recommend that you go listen to it because Ben asks amazing questions. He also has had many other episodes with fantastic guests. People such as Jane McGraw and Edna Galansky are recent guests on there, so I really recommend that you go check it out. I wanted to make a video today on one of Ben's questions that he asked because I thought it was such a great question and I'm not sure I had really thought it through prior to him asking me. And that question is, what fundamentally makes a great teacher of intermediate students? I think my answers here actually apply to many instruments, not just piano teachers. So if you're also teaching strings or flute or something else, you might find something valuable here in that. So I have 5 things that I think are really important, particularly for teachers teaching intermediate students. There are many things that I think are important pedagogically that would span from beginners all the way up to advanced, but I'm specifically talking about this particular level in our teaching. What do we need to be really good teachers here? And make sure you stay all the way to the end because I think number 5 is the most important. All right, so number 1, teachers teaching intermediate students must play at the advanced level. I know that seems really basic, but I think it needs to be said. If we are not confident players at an intermediate level, then we can't guide our students and be ahead of them. Number 2, teachers at this level must be able to inspire their students in the repertoire that they're going to play and pass on just an amazing level of enthusiasm for these pieces that we're going to teach them. This is harder at the intermediate level because elementary piano music is really engaging. You know, you have a lot of pieces with descriptive titles like Crocodile in the Nile. Or you have tunes that are very familiar to them, like Mary Had a Little Lamb or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, that they're just going to already know and want to play. And when we get to the intermediate level, suddenly we have a lot of historical music, things like minuets. I always say nobody is dancing the minuet in 2021 or 2022. I guess it's 2022 now. And so that's very culturally irrelevant to our students. They don't go dance that and they don't really know what that is. Same thing with sonatinas or other things that don't have a descriptive title. What is a sonatina? Our students don't know if they have never played one, and they don't know what's going to make this piece appealing or exciting or why they should want to play it. So it's our job to really inspire a lot of enthusiasm and to show our students what is really great about each individual piece. Number 3 is teachers at this level should kind of move into a coach sort of mentality versus teacher. Our beginner students need to be shown and we have to tell them everything because they have never experienced it before. And instead, when we get to the intermediate level, we are guiding our students in remembering what they've already learned and helping them learn how to apply it to a new piece or a new experience, as well as guiding them in discovering what's new. We don't have to tell them everything. We don't have to show them everything. We're really trying to help them learn how to be autonomous, independent learners. Number 4, we really have to teach good practice habits at this level. I was really happy to see that the winter edition of Piano Magazine, which comes out from the Francis Clark Center, is all about teaching intermediate piano students, and there's a fantastic article in there about practicing at the intermediate level and teaching our students how to practice. One of the things that Sarah Ernst says in that article is that elementary students, when they go home to do their assignment, they're really just playing their music at home. They don't have practice skills yet, and their music is very simple, so there aren't going to be a lot of intense practice sessions. They're just going to play through their pieces, do some clapping and some other activities, but it's really playing music at home. When you get to the intermediate level, you really have to use actual practice techniques. And if you don't learn how to practice at this level, when you get to advanced repertoire like Beethoven sonatas and Chopin ballades, you're going to really struggle on knowing how to approach an individual piece of music and learn it, and know how to polish it and perform it. So it's vital that we have a huge toolbox of practice techniques and that we try to, remind our students over and over and over again, here are some different techniques you could use on a piece like this. Here's a different technique for this different type of piece. This is one of the things I try to do in all of my How to Teach videos here on my YouTube channel, to just give you some variety of ways to practice and remember, all the different things we can do to learn and polish our pieces. Number 5, and I do think this is the most important, or maybe I should say, this is the characteristic that makes a teacher of intermediate students really great and not just a good teacher of intermediate students. And that is the ability to take advanced topics and concepts and techniques and distill them down to a student who is only at the early or mid-intermediate level. So I think what I've noticed in trends in piano teaching are that there are lots of wonderful pianists who understand really complex things like performance practice in the Baroque era, but they don't know how to explain that to a less experienced student, whether it's an adolescent or even an adult recreational student. Many people can play with this virtuosic technique, but they don't know how to guide an intermediate student in a really incremental process of building that technique from an elementary level to an advanced level. And so I think learning to communicate really well is really important for all of us teachers. We have to know our material, such as those advanced techniques, and then we have to learn how can we say those things, how can we demonstrate those things to our students, and then how can we make them applicable to their own personal experience and exactly the level that they're at right now. And so that takes a lot of experience. If you're a newer teacher at this level, don't worry if you're doing it poorly at the beginning. We all do. It takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of studying your student and knowing what kinds of analogies or descriptions help that student learn these things. And it just takes time to practice doing this over and over and over again. I hope this has given you some food for thought on what makes a really great intermediate teacher. Once again, I commend you to Ben Capello's podcast called All Keyed Up. It's really fantastic. If you don't already subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so now. Hit the like button on this video and share it with a friend if you found it helpful. Best wishes in all your teaching.